Husband, 34M, got weird about physical affection from me, 36F, and things escalated very badly. I am not op. Original post by you, Sprightly Mango in our relationship advice. Trigger warning. Mentions of abuse. Less than. And NBSP. Husband, 34M, got weird about physical affection from me, 36F, and things escalated very badly the 25th of October 2021. My 36F husband, 34M, married for 2 years and together for 5 altogether. Used to be very affectionate with each other in a way that was playful, flirty and warm. A couple months ago he decided I was too clingy, and that he wanted to be the one to initiate all physical contact from then on. I do not think I am clingy. I initiated hugs and kisses a few times a day with a few other casual touches like a hand on the shoulder, but was very far from groping him every second. I know he has also been coming to terms with some issues from a difficult childhood at that time. Not physical abuse, more emotional abandonment, alienation issues with his parents. So I wanted to give him space and not make this about me. Especially as he promised to continue being regularly affectionate. And he has done so. Maybe a bit less than before, but we still have some affectionate touches. Initiated by him. Every day and more intimate activities a couple times a week. Used to be more like 34 times a week. But again, I know he is going through some stuff. A few days ago, I found out at work I had gotten a big promotion and bonus. When I got home I was so excited that I threw my arms around him, thereby violating his rule that he needed to be the one to initiate contact. He immediately pushed me away and got extremely angry. It was not a sexual hug at all. More like the kind you see sports team members giving each other when they win a big game. I tried to apologize, but he started yelling about how I am an abuser and traumatized him. He asked me to leave. I quickly packed a few things and went to a motel, not wanting things to escalate further. I understand from his brother that after I left he tried to go to the police to press charges, but they said that a quick hug from one's wife, even if not really wanted, expected, was not the kind of thing they are going to prosecute. He is now threatening to call my employer to tell them I am an abuser who engages in sexual misconduct in my personal life. I am not asking for legal advice about that here. What I am asking is, honestly, would he be justified in telling my employer about what happened? I did make a terrible mistake even if it wasn't malicious. I believe people are allowed to determine that they don't want others to initiate touch and should have bodily autonomy. Just because I wouldn't be traumatized over a hug doesn't mean he shouldn't be. I am willing to accept that he may very well divorce me over this and that I may lose other important friendships and family relationships. But should I also lose my job? My job is working with other adults in an office, not vulnerable people. I don't and have never initiated physical contact with coworkers except an occasional handshake or accepting a high five. TLDR. After getting great news, I excitedly hugged my husband without consent. He requires being the one to initiate all physical contact. He was so upset he tried to press charges and now wants to tell my employer I abused him, and I am seeking opinions about whether that is justified from an accountability perspective, not legal advice. And NBSP. Update. Husband, 36M, got weird about physical affection from me, 34F, and things escalated badly the 29th of October 2021. So things came to a head, but not in the way I was expecting. My husband's brother, Bill, continued to stay with him while I stayed at a hotel. After a couple days, I got a call from Bill, asking me to come home so that we could all talk. He assured me I would be safe. Turns out my husband has been having an affair with an intern at his company. 21F, and is deeply in love and wants to be with her. He told Bill this shortly after I left. He wanted to make me the bad guy, so first started with the no touching rule, figuring I would get fed up with it, or that eventually I would make a mistake and he could use that to claim I was an abuser. That is what happened, so that I would be the bad guy. It was also a way to reduce intimacy of all types with me while he was falling out of love with me, and in love with his affair partner. So, he made up the stuff about trauma flaring up, and isn't actually having a psychotic break, although obviously has some level of mental problems to do something so cruel. For what it's worth, he did apologize, sort of. Said he was just so in love with the other woman and couldn't deal with hurting me directly by leaving me right away, so came up with this plan, and just got a little too caught up in character when I gave him the mistaken hug with calling me an abuser, making a police report and threatening my job. We sat down and talked about everything, with Bill as mediator, and agreed to a cordial and quick divorce, dividing assets 50-50. Thankfully no pets or kids. I know I could probably make things harder for him under the circumstances, but I really just want to move on as soon as possible and put this all behind me. I have a good job, income, and don't need anything from him other than my freedom. ASAP. I appreciate everyone who commented, and all who sent me messages. Apologies for not responding personally to everyone, but was a bit overwhelmed. Even though things went in an unexpected direction, it was so helpful to see that what was happening wasn't normal, and also helped me to prepare for the truth when it came out. Thank you. TL. Dr. My 34F husband, 36M, said he was dealing with trauma and made rules about my not being allowed to initiate touching him anymore. Followed the rules perfectly for a couple months, but slipped up and hugged him excitedly after getting a promotion, after which he accused me of assaulting him. Turns out he was just having an affair and wanted to find a way to make me the bad guy in the marriage ending. Everything is out in the open now and we are getting a divorce. It's relatively cordial under the circumstances and I'm feeling okay for now, but will probably need a lot of therapy in the long term. And NBSP. Reminder, I am not the original poster. Man, did anyone else think he's having an affair immediately? Reddit has broken me. Jesus. What an absolute unit of an asshole the husband is here. It's going to be delicious when his 21-yo AP gets bored and dumps him. What an asshole. I am sure the police's eyes rolled right out of the back of their heads when he showed up wanting them to press charges because his wife hugged him. Guy's a fart knocker. This is one of those posts where I desperately hope Whoop comes back with a story of how the husband's life fell apart after the divorce. The intern left him. He lost his job and was blacklisted in the industry, and comes back begging for her to take him back so she can coldly reject him and live her best life. Ugh. Abusers are so horrible. What an insanely baffling thing to do. Ex-husband wasn't having a psychotic break. He was already psycho. Really glad Oop is free from that monster. WTF. Calling a hug abusive? I knew the minute he asked her to never initiate affection he was cheating. I wish she went off on him when he kept saying how in love he is with someone else. He's cruel and will probably do the same thing to his new partner. At least she's out and hopefully finds happiness. This is so messed up. I really hate people sometimes. Not to mention that having an affair with an intern is very questionable, especially if she is his subordinate who reports to him. Depending on his company, he could have serious issues, especially if it goes badly, which, judging from his reactions, It probably will. She could have a case against him and the company, with major ramifications. This could blow up in his face badly. And I hope it does. This woman was way more chill about her husband's evil plan than I would be. Ah, the classic, I'm a cheating asshole so I'll antagonize my spouse to make them look like an ass. Never goes wrong. PSA. If you don't want to be with someone, just leave. Period. Don't cheat. Don't play stupid games. Just leave FFS. He tried reporting her to the police for abuse and threatened her livelihood. Because he at 34 years of age was just so in love with the 21-year-old intern and didn't want to be the bad guy? Bless her heart for not going scorched earth, and good on her for being free of such an ass. But his work should know. He didn't want to hurt her by confessing his affair and asking for a divorce, but was okay torturing her for months, calling her an abuse and trying to press criminal charges that would affect her for the rest of her life. So angry. He should face some consequences. But it's okay because, oops, I took method acting too far. Hopefully his AP finds out about the madness and makes a run for it. That 21-year-old is in for a real treat. My money was on affair, but I would have taken psychotic break. Either way, that guy is awful and I hope he steps in a nest of fire ants. Dang it. It's called just leave. Does he realize he might have been more over a barrel in the divorce court had he managed to file a false accusation with the police? Lawyers would be salivating over that. Wait, he called your job and did what? Quote. This guy tried to have her arrested so he doesn't look like the bad guy. But it's being excused because he was too in character? Fuck that. Soak that dude for everything. My ex said I was too affectionate and clingy and he hated when I hugged him when he came home from work, like a stupid puppy. Turns out he was cheating too. Only he didn't have the decency to tell me, lol. I hope someone warns the 21-year-old affair partner that when OOP's ex-husband decides the relationship is over, he's going to try to have her arrested for opening the pickles in the fridge that were clearly his. Seriously. I'm not predisposed to think kindly of cheaters. Presuming she knew this dude was married. But someone should warn her this guy is dangerous.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Aircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.